Hello, and welcome to the Classical Urban Podcast. My name's Phil Seaman.
I'm George Georgopoulos.
It's Baby Ice Cube.
Joining us today is...
Frank Murphy.
Frank Murphy.
He had to put us through these fucking walls.
Right? Like,
I'm gonna put you through those fucking walls.
That's great. All right, so you want to tell us about your so beloved Rocket Man?
Wait. So, update on the whole stolen car thing.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
So, car got stolen, like, a long time ago. Couple months, like, usually people don't find cars. They found mine. We're in Indianapolis, Indiana. They found my car in Weed, California.
Wait, that's an actual city in California?
Yeah, it's called Weed.
Huh.
You know what the name of the towing company was?
Black Butte.
It looks like it says Black Butt.
Yeah.
You know I can't hear you right, so you went talk closer to the microphone.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not getting the car, so, oh well, fuck it.
You're not going to go get it?
That costs money.
Oh, I thought you were going to be gone next week. You just decided against it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go get it anymore.
Why? Why not?
Because the dog had to go to the vet. I don't have money now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What was that for? She like inhaled the anti-water thing.
For shoes, yes.
Yes, yes. Sorry,
Waterproof stuff.
I couldn't think of what I was trying to say. How did that So what happened to her exactly? Like, did she just couldn't breathe?
Basically, she couldn't breathe. And it was messing with her lungs, and she was coughing up foam.
Whoa.
You see, Brandon, when your body is made up mostly of water, and your organs need water, and then the organ that controls your breathing has now been coated in something that repels water.
That's low-key true. But I mean, I didn't expect it to I don't know. It's just kind of it's just like we inhale all different things all the time. That it's just kind of like.
Yeah, but essentially what that would do if she inhaled enough of it is it would make her lungs thin water repellent.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So it would just dry the fuck out.
That's true.
It would be like you just taking spray paint and just straight up inhaling it. Your lungs would stop working because the air couldn't get through the paint layer.
Oh.
Yeah. Bad time.
So how'd the doctor visit go for the dog? Did she enjoy it?
No.
No. Did you say they stuck a thermometer up her butt?
Yep.
Goodness gracious. I mean, that's got to be... Is that like a standard procedure at every vet visit, though?
I think so because they have to do the
it's just
general check over.
Yeah, like they
At this specific vet. Yes.
at the but every time we go to the doctor, we always get the check our
Yeah, but you can't really
temperature.
get a dog to keep his tongue on top of something, can you?
I know. I'm not saying
So
that.
where else are you gonna get
I'm not
that
saying
temperature from?
I'm not saying the fact that they put it in the butt is weird, but I'm saying I mean it would suck, but there's nowhere else you
Isn't
could.
that how they have to take babies' temperatures?
Yep.
Yeah.
That means you've had something up your butt.
Your mind was just blown, wasn't it?
And then when you turn 40, that prostate exam.
No, I already said I'm not getting that.
Okay, and then...
I don't give a fuck. Mariah
Hey.
was like, no, you have to get it because men get prostate cancer all the time. I was like, I don't care. I'd rather get cancer of the asshole than have someone dig in my asshole.
You're gonna reach this point in time where you just constantly feel like you have to take a shit, and it's gonna be a tumor the size of a potato inside your ass.
I already feel like that.
God damn it!
You're screwed, buddy.
Fuck.
You're like
We can do an impromptu checkup right now. Give me some gloves.
that is disgusting.
Some olive oil.
That is
I
disgusting.
just cannot bring myself to do it.
I don't blame you though.
What's the last thing you want to hear when getting a prostate exam?
God damn it.
Look, no hands.
God.
He's using his foot. He's
Phil.
That's definitely what's going on there, George.
Oh my God. You were that was funny.
So what's this about Rocket Man, George?
So, the UN... What's it called? Fucking... Not...
The UN.
The UN was in New York. Fucking... Don't judge me. Donald Trump addressed the UN. First time doing
as
so.
he's supposed to do.
That's
Yes.
what he's supposed to do. That's not the problem here. So, one of the topics brought up was North Korea and their recent threats. Donald Trump referred to Kim Jong-un as fucking Rocket Man. which I think is his best act as president. That is the best thing anybody's ever done in that office.
He referred to him as Rocket Man.
Yeah. Rocket Man and his regime are on a suicide run. He said that to the United fucking Nations. The United States president took the only real word.
POTUS.
The United States president took the only real world equivalent of a comic book villain and referred to him as Rocket Man
See,
to the United fucking Nations.
See, that's just like one snippet of the whole speech, though. Like,
Yeah.
it was a good, like, I think it was like an hour and... It was well over an hour
No,
long.
I saw other clips of the speech. It was actually pretty eloquent. Like,
Yeah, like,
I
I
usually-
probably watched like a 20, 30-minute segment, and, like, what he was saying was very well put together and made a lot of sense.
I usually
write it.
can't. Yeah, I know.
I
He, I just
know.
know he didn't write it.
Ghost Riders.
But I cannot listen to him talk, dude. Like, it's not just because I don't like him, but his voice is just so goddamn
and
annoying.
his face.
no, you got to watch him because he's like constantly doing this. Like, he's
Like, yeah, and he
switching-
always looks like he's constipated, like all the time.
like he looks like he's throwing up like white. gang
Maybe they
signs.
should. Maybe he needs to go get a prostate exam.
He probably does.
Yeah.
He's probably had a few in his day.
He's like
though.
a grown-up
what is he,
Cody.
like,
I'm
90?
not letting someone penetrate me.
Why do you do that so well?
Look, I watch a lot of the guy. I don't like him, but I got to know what he's doing.
But yeah, this whole North Korea thing is not. I don't think that's gonna happen with this. Dude. It's kind of like.
One of the guys I work with, one day I'm like, "This is all your fault." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "North Korea." He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "It's all your fault." I'm like, one day you were on Twitter trolling some little kid, and it just happened to so be the leader of North Korea, and that's why he's like, "Fuck the U.S."
Ooh, no. He was born into this shit.
Yeah, he's a. I mean, he's not even like. He's really a nobody when you think about it. Like,
I saw somebody finally taking my advice. Dennis Rodman is saying that he's gonna go over there and try and befriend Kim Jong Un for the U.S. And I've been,
Dude.
but I mean, like when he went over there for the first that one time and everyone like made a huge deal about it, I was like, this is our way in. Kim Jong Un likes Dennis Rodman because Kim Jong Un likes the Chicago Bulls.
He goes over there all the time.
Yeah. So now he's saying that he's gonna try and make better relations, and I'm like, why didn't we try and do that before?
because the government don't like Dennis
That's too.
Rodman. Like,
That's way too simple. Like,
yeah, they're gonna make it way more different. Like, if he could do it, to go for it. Like, he could
if the
finally do something good with his life.
if the
but,
government's
like,
going to do something, it has to take years. It can't just be like, "Hey, Dennis Rodman, go hop on a plane and fix this." Like, that's not how we do things.
no, because they're like, oh, we got to follow this code and this code and this code. When in reality, it just adds more time to something that could have been fixed 3 years ago. So, I mean, if he could do it, that'd be great. But it's not gonna happen.
Makes sense though.
Yeah, it does, but it just he'll go over there, he'll talk to Kim Jong Un, and then he'll come back and be like, "Oh, this is what he says," and the government's like, "We'll think about it," and that's literally going to be it.
Did you know last time he went over there, he brought Trump a copy of the book Art of the Deal. He brought Kim Jong Un a copy of Trump's book, The Art of the Deal, when he went over there.
Dennis Rodman sometimes.
Yeah, that's just
Well, he also-
weird.
He dresses like a lady sometimes.
Hey, it's 2017. You can't judge people.
But he
You
was
can't.
he was doing this in
Like,
like the 90s. Like,
So,
just
today
saying.
is 2017.
I know, but he's been doing it for a while. I feel like America's just kind of accepted Dennis Rodman is just like there, but they just don't acknowledge him.
I love Dennis Rodman.
He was that one goofy kid in school.
My favorite basketball player. of all
Everybody
time.
knew, but nobody really messed with.
Yeah, I mean no one messed with him. He was fucking crazy,
Exactly.
but not like a goofy crazy. Like he was just legitimately crazy.
So, what do you guys think the odds of us going to war with Korea are?
Probably not.
0.
Yeah, not that
think so?
high. I'm not worried about it.
Nah.
Dude,
And-
I mean, this has been an ongoing thing for a long ass time,
Yeah.
like since before we were really born.
Yeah, not to mention fucking North Korea is the guy who's only tough when he has someone holding him back. When they think the other person's not going to do anything, he's the loudest motherfucker in the room.
Yeah, what's gonna make it interesting? What makes it interesting though is China's stance on it.
Right, I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
exactly.
like, what are
Like-
we gonna do if China decides, like,
Yeah,
hey,
that's like.
that's my friend?
Mhm.
That's pretty much what they said.
That's what I'm saying. So if North Korea attacks us, and we attack North Korea,
But
we're
but
basically attacking China.
but then it becomes an economy game because
Yep.
China makes a
We-
lot of money off of us.
And we make a lot of money off of them.
Exactly.
We can't really afford as countries to fuck with each other.
That's why there's nothing that's been happening up to this point, because it's too much money. Not just to go to war, but you would lose a lot of our economies.
There's so many economies that rely upon each other. It's just like it's been the peace factor basically.
So that's why I don't think it's ever going to happen. And I think if North Korea did attack us, China would have to make a decision, and depending on how their ideals sit, they care more about their economy, if they care more about being as close to a communist state as you can get, or what, then that's going to be the deciding factor in that.
Well, that's like the statement they released a couple weeks ago that we touched on. They said if we attack North Korea, they're going to side with North Korea. But if North Korea attacks us first, and they just kind of left that hanging there. Like, they didn't really say what they were going to do, but...
I think it stopped. Oh, did it not? Is it
No.
Going? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what Phil does over there. He just kind of
I was watching it and it stopped moving.
he just kind of does what he does. But no, China is the only thing that's like keeping probably this like a war from actually happening.
What?
Into the wrong hole.
He drank and sucked it down the wrong hole. He went down. It went down his food hole.
Down my air hole.
It's a joke. Never
It
mind.
went down my air hole.
Cody's like a fish. And
I
drinks through his
always
lungs.
tell Hannah this semester that you have 3 tubes in your throat: one for food, one for water, and one for air. She gets really mad at me when I tell people that in public. Like, I'll start coughing and she's like, "Did you get it down the wrong tube?" And I was like, "Yeah, I went down my food tube."
Down my food tube.
And then people just look at me like I'm crazy, and I'm like, yeah. But North Korea is, it's like
Apparently, Russia's getting sick of their shit too. Actually,
yeah, but it's like that kid in the neighborhood who always is just like thugging out, thinking he's cool and stuff, and then he'll just like never do anything.
We know somebody like that. He's dead now.
I mean, we don't have to.
He's dead now.
don't talk quietly and away from the mic. Goddammit.
Well, we don't want
Talk into the mic.
Yeah, we're not like purposely trying to put that out there, Jordan.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
that's
like,
like
it was
Don't
supposed
say
to,
it,
man.
It was supposed to be like,
man.
yeah, like.
Oh, what's gonna happen?
You never know, dude. Like someone hears that they can get mad and start attacking all of us, and we got to deal with it, and it's like, ugh.
So I was with somebody last night, as I was talking about also last night, and he was talking about how the end of days are coming because of all the earthquakes. And he's like, "There's never been this many earthquakes ever." And I was like, "So does that mean it's the end of the world?" And he's like, "Yeah, because it says so in the Bible. There's going to be a lot of earthquakes at the end of the world." And I was like, "Is that what it says in the Bible?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "All right."
But there's hundreds of earthquakes that happen every day.
Yeah, no, but according to him, there's just not that many.
Because there was a 8.3 in Mexico.
And then they had a 6.1 right after.
Yeah, that was the aftershock. And
Also-
then it was either a 7 or an 8.0 magnitude in Japan, off the coast of Japan.
Japan
as well.
literally gets earthquakes almost every week. Like it's geography. I mean, not geography, geology. Sorry.
There was one in Bloomington this week.
Yep.
A decent sized one in Bloomington as
It was
well.
a 3.8.
But it was big enough for people to feel.
Did you guys remember the earthquake when we were in middle school? Because God, can you two get it together over there? For the love of the Lord.
How can you hear it?
But do you guys remember that earthquake that happened in middle school? And basically everyone came to school like, "Did you feel the earthquake? Did you feel the earthquake?" And I'm sitting there like, "No, there was no."
Oh yeah, we did
Yeah.
have that one.
And everyone was like, "I totally felt it." I'm like, I'm sure if you were awake, you felt it, but I feel like you could
You
sleep.
didn't feel it.
You could sleep right through that.
Yeah. You know what's fucked up? Fracking. What's it called?
Are you gonna become one of these people? I'm so sorry. My apologies. Go on.
A right person or what? People who's informed?
Fracking is bad.
Well, yeah, it actually causes earthquakes.
I know, but I don't need to hear about it every goddamn day.
Do I spout that every day?
No, I'm just saying, don't become one of those fracking people.
Fuck it.
One of those
I point out
fracking
one
people.
fact to get there. It's like, don't even start, bro. Don't even.
It's a
fucking
pun
start,
that
bro.
works in 2 ways. Go ahead. No,
No, that was my.
the fracking is
Yeah.
causing the earth
Yeah,
to.
and I just wanted to go into that. That's fucked up. You don't want to hear about it.
No, it's fine. I was just messing with you. But it's just another case of we realize what we do to the earth and how it affects it, but we just don't care. Like, just the way it is.
Fucked up.
I actually don't even know, like, what is the purpose of fracking?
It lets you get more oil.
Is that all it is? Is it oil?
It allows you to tap into oil that can't be reached in conventional ways.
That does sound pretty not. If you can't reach it, you probably shouldn't touch it. Like, that's kind of a.
Did you know that's where auto-tune came from?
What?
Fracking?
Well, oil drilling.
Oh.
Auto-tune?
Yeah.
For, like, your music?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
TPain was on an oil rig, and then what happened?
Well, he's actually the one who, okay, so the reason that T-Pain is like, I guess you would say like he's popular for his auto-tune.
He's a
but
poster
the
child
reason
for it.
that like but he does it differently than everyone because he actually like researched it and like understands like what auto-tune is, and so basically he was explaining it in an interview where auto-tune was like this program that they had, and it would send a frequency down, and then like it would send another frequency up, but you'd have to use auto-tune to like I guess understand like.
I guess
Humidifier's not happy.
yeah, I think it just filled up. That's fine. It's good.
Okay.
It stopped. You're good.
Basically, like the auto-tune would pick up the frequency, and if it sent back a certain frequency, they knew that there was oil there.
Wow.
And now it makes people sound like robots.
But how do you shoot auto-tune into the earth?
I don't understand like exactly like they would send a frequency.
It's
down, like-
vibrations.
Oh, okay.
You ever play
Yeah.
Saints Row the Fourth? It's like the dubstep gun.
Never played that one.
Wow.
Are you serious? Oh, that was one of the better ones. I mean, my Saints Row 2 was obviously the best one.
I
'cause it's the
haven't,
most
I haven't
realistic
played
one.
any of them.
What?
Yep.
Okay, we can't be told nerds of the podcast. That's not. It's not
I
allowed.
think we can.
We can't be.
I
It's
think
our
we
it's our
can.
podcast. We can do what the hell we want to.
It's my podcast now.
Dude, do you remember that song? It's my party and I'll get high if I want to by Fabulous.
No.
Cody, you gotta remember
I
it.
don't like Fabulous.
Oh, you don't? What?
Uh,
Oh God, he's like an OG though, man. You don't like a lot of New York rappers, though, do you? That's what it is.
only the good ones,
Like who? Biggie?
like Big Pun.
Oh yeah.
Not JayZ though.
No,
Not JayZ.
not JayZ. You know why I don't like JayZ? Because he's
Why?
fucking overrated. Fuck JayZ.
You like the song "Kill JayZ"?
Hey, one of his
By
songs says
JayZ.
"fuck JayZ" in it, so
Yeah.
I don't like JayZ. You know why I don't like JayZ? He's like a little worm, right? After the rain and the worm gets kind of stuck in the crack.
Yeah.
And just like slithers his way through the other side of the fucking street. That's JayZ. All the good New York rappers are dead, and he somehow just kind of slipped through the cracks and is like, I'm New York too. And
Nah,
everyone-
see, I would say that's
But-
what's his name? Fucking DMX.
He doesn't rap anymore though.
It used
Yeah,
to.
I mean, DMX, he was never really like. I mean, he was a rapper, but he never was really
No,
like.
he went to jail. His career was over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's fair to say the only reason JayZ popped off was. It's one of the big reasons he
It's the
popped
only
off.
reason.
But
If Big Pun
You
and
talking
Biggie
about?
were still alive, you think JayZ would still have a career?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Cody, the dude has how many
Yeah.
how many awards has this man won
Yeah,
for his
now-
records? How
Now,
many platinum albums have he
now
sold?
I'm saying if Biggie and Big Pun were still alive, you really think JayZ would still have a career?
Yeah, he'd still have a career. Well, he
Yes.
wouldn't be as big as he is now, but he'd still have a career.
Do you know why I think he'd still have a career?
Why?
Because somehow Nicki Minaj has a career.
And also, not to mention, I've never heard a Big Pun.
Ignore
So-
him. Ignore him. It's fine.
You can give me that stupid look. Won't fix anything.
You've never heard a Big. All right.
But no, I think he'd still have a. He wouldn't be the JayZ we know today, but he wouldn't be like a nobody. Because I
He'd
mean,
be a nobody.
no.
If Nas was still rapping, he wouldn't have a career either.
What are you talking about?
What?
What?
If Nas was still rapping, JayZ was.
Nas does still. He just released an album like a year ago or a year or two ago.
Not to mention, those two beefing was a major thing in the hip hop scene at the time.
Nas should have just. It should have just been ended after that.
That's Ether.
Should have been over.
Probably.
And everybody knows. Everyone refers to when you shit on something in a diss track, they call it ethering.
Like Sheeper.
So why is JayZ still relevant? I'll never know.
Because he's still releasing albums.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
He
keep
doesn't
doing that.
release albums for the music. Fuck him. I don't like him. After the last album, not 444, but the one before that.
The
Magna
Holy
Carta?
Yeah, Magna Carta.
You know he got a
yeah.
deal from Samsung to make that album, right? Samsung paid him $1 million. That's why he had all those commercials with the Samsung commercials
Oh,
for his
yeah.
album. He didn't make that album because he wanted to make music. He made that album because Samsung was like, hey, if you make another album and put our shit in it. We'll give you some money.
I don't blame.
I
him
didn't
for
listen
that.
to that one.
I don't blame him for that though. That's money.
He's also a
Fuck him.
businessman.
Yeah.
Like, that's
I think that's the
sad point of
difference.
it.
Like, because
I, mean,
I don't
it's
really.
cool and all. I get that. You know, you want to make a living off what you do, but it's like,
I
if
don't.
that's the only reason that you came back to make an album, then fuck off.
I don't look at JayZ as just a rapper.
I don't look at him at all.
But like to me, like I guess because like we grew up in an era where he the height of his career, we were young when it was like really going, and we know we can look back and listen to music and still enjoy it and stuff, but we weren't like really there. You know what I mean? So I only see him as the businessman that he's become because he's like owns, what is it? Is he Devassier? Is that what he owns? Not
Mhm.
I think he owns Ace of
Spades.
Spades.
No, the
The cognac.
yeah.
Owns?
What is it? What's it called? Duce. God, Duce.
Oh, is that his?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's his. And then he has his own album. He has his own. I mean, he has his own record label. He has his own streaming app. I mean, he's
rock.
he's
It's the rock.
he's a businessman. That's what I see
More.
him as.
Fuck him. You ready, B?
He has a terrible voice. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Terrible voice. He has a terrible rap flow. I don't like him.
What are you talking about?
His rap flow is annoying.
You like Kanye's. You don't like fucking JayZ's.
Kanye's more of an artist though.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
Kanye raps on beat.
And that is
JayZ
annoying.
does not rap on beat, and it's fucking irritating. It's so original. No, it's off beat. What?
He was the handicapped kid in kindergarten. Music class.
Yeah.
Everybody's in sync, and then you have like the one person plays the cowbell.
Hove!
No, you gotta admit some of Jay-Z's songs are like cultural icons.
Nope.
Are you joking?
99
me?
Problems.
I don't believe in icons.
That one's not. But like, shut up, Jim Carrey. But like,
Lucifer.
Dirt Off Your Shoulder. You can't tell me everybody wasn't loving that song at a
Yeah.
point in time.
Obama did it at one point.
Like, come
A
on.
lot of people like JayZ. I don't. So I mean, like, I guess I respect what he did for the culture, but I just don't like him. So
I mean, that's
never,
fair. That's
I'm
fair.
never gonna have any kind of like, oh yeah, you know, he really did. No, like,
You
no,
just don't.
it's just not gonna happen for me.
I'm the like when I told you know how last night I told you I had no idea who Freddie Mercury was.
I'm still upset. Still
Right.
upset about
We were talking about this
it.
while I was
Not
at
know
work.
who Freddie Mercury.
No.
is.
But we were talking about this at work,
He's
and
amazing.
the guy I was talking to. What the heck?
Continue.
Okay. And I told the guy that works for me this, and he was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You don't." He's like, "Do you know who Freddie Mercury is?" I was like, "No." And he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I'm like, "No." and then there was a girl who was like looking at the collectible wall or whatever, and she turned around with the most judgmental look on her face. I was like, should I know who this is or something?
She
And then
looked at you and she was like, he's a millennial and he's black. I didn't expect him to know any better.
Oh.
no, she was our age. She was really upset with me.
Oh, so
She was so upset. She's like, I don't think I can buy anything from you anymore. And I'm like, well, this is awkward. I guess you should probably leave. Like, but yeah, like I mean, everyone says he's like an icon or whatever. Which I can respect if he like affected people that way. I can respect it, but I have no desire to listen to Queen's music other than the ones they put in movies all the goddamn time. Like,
fair.
and they were all mad at me. They were like, so you don't know like
But
this
I at
song and
least
this
know who
song and
JayZ
this
is.
song. But I knew who Queen was. I just didn't know the name of their. I don't know anyone else in
Yeah.
that band
You
either.
know the
I guess.
band,
I
you
guess
didn't-
it's like a thing. It's like
Yeah, like I know the
rappers, yeah.
band. I don't know the.
Yeah.
It's like how people think Tech Nine is like more than one person.
Yeah.
It's like I can be
Like,
mad at you, but
can
like
you
I
name
can't.
the members of Bone Thugs?
Bone, 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 bone.
Yeah, they all. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
But no, I don't remember
Yeah,
the.
exactly. So it's like it's one of those things.
Yeah, so I felt to me it was like, but like the guy who I was talking to about, he doesn't know who Run DMC is, so I was like,
How?
you're an irrelevant
Okay,
human
how?
being.
How?
You're an irrelevant person.
How?
He was like,
What?
I was like, he was like, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is like the greatest honor you can receive as an artist. I was like, well, guess what? There's a group of rappers in your fucking Rock Hall of Fame, so shut up.
Right. There's a bunch of rappers.
Yeah. He's like, he looked him up. He's like, oh, they got inducted in like 2012. I was like, yeah, but they didn't make. They made music in the 80s and 90s. So what are you talking about?
Right.
Like, it still counts. And he tried to tell me that rap didn't start until the late 90s. I'm like, you are an idiot. He made me so mad. that day. I was like, I'm half tempted to fire you right now. I don't have that power, but I'm half tempted to do it.
I remember one
Call
time
up corporate.
my little brother was telling me that he had like a teacher, like a teacher's assistant or something, and he came home one day, my brother, and he's like, one of my teachers told me where rap comes from, and I was like, oh, your teacher told you.
Oh, here we go.
And I was like, please, enlighten me, tell me what they said, and he's like, it came from Africans, and I was like, okay.
Can you elaborate?
He's like, because the
blacks.
Africans used to rap, and I was like, no, Angelo. I was like, that's not how that works. And he's like, yeah. He said they used to beat on the drums and sing, and they called it rapping. And I was like, that's inaccurate.
Nope.
I later found out the guy who told him that was white. So
That explains.
How old was he when this happened?
I don't remember, but I just remember him telling me that, and I was just like, you should not listen to that teacher
Ever again. Ever
I don't give a
again.
fuck if they're reading straight out of the book. You better read that book back.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? He might be lying to you.
Oh, that's great.
Like, okay. I don't know why, but I think I'm about to go on a tangent here.
Go, do you, bro?
Go
So
ahead.
just like, all right.
Pull that
So-
mic closer if you need to, man. If you need to get into it, go ahead.
No, it's like, okay, so you know how people always hit you with the, do you believe everything you read on the internet?
Yeah.
You know what my rebuttal to that is all the time? Do you believe everything you read in a fucking book? well, no. Okay. But books are still good sources. Yeah, there's still a lot of good sources on the internet.
Yep.
If books are so important and they're such great sources, why was there a school textbook that referred to the slave trade as immigration?
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Did you not hear about this?
No.
Here, hold on. I gotta look this article up because
that's fucked up.
it was like this kid. His mom was helping him with his homework or whatever, and
Young black kid, I assume.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. We were always ones that catch it.
Well, yeah, and the mom was like, what did it say? It said like, I think it said like a servant immigration or something like that. Yeah, hold on.
But, you know,
Nah, you pay servants. You pay servants.
Bro,
Servants are free to leave if they want.
while he's looking that up real quick, did y'all know that in Indiana in like the early 19th century, like 1801, 1800, whatever, they would we were a free state, right? But everyone wanted to be a slave state that lived here. So to get around that, they would emancipate the slaves that they brought here, and then either tell them they have to be an indentured servant for life or get out of the state in 60 days. So either way, they were basically slaves.
Yeah,
so screwed up.
It's a chapter on immigration, and it says here, the Atlantic slave trade between the 1500s and 1800s brought millions of workers from Africa to southern United States to work on agricultural plantations.
How old was the kid?
He's a 15. Oh, he's a freshman.
What?
Yeah,
That's in a freshman textbook?
What the fuck?
in his geography class,
What? That is absurd.
referring to them as workers.
Oh my God. That is
He-
insane.
In the article, it says he reached for his cell phone and sent a photograph of the captain to his mother, along with a text message saying, "We was real hard workers, wasn't we?"
That is hysterical. That dude's a savage.
Yeah, so they acknowledge that it says slave trade.
Yeah, they acknowledge the
Call
slave
them-
trade,
and they
but
call
like
them workers, and
right.
it's in the immigration section of the book.
That's absurd, man. It's like
So back to what I was saying. Yeah, sometimes I do believe what I read on the fucking internet because I can proofread that shit and I can go and find different sources.
right, and then like so this kind of the whole immigration thing. It's like in my African American history class, we talk about how there's the Holocaust, right?
Yeah.
Well, there was a Holocaust before that Holocaust. They call it the Black Holocaust. It's a whole actually highly debated topic within the African American historical community, where it's like these people, yeah, they weren't killed like the Jews, but they endured as much hardship as the Jews were. They just weren't killed in the end of it.
Yeah.
So it's like are you allowed to call the Atlantic slave trade a Black Holocaust?
Slave trade.
No, you
Because-
could just call it a genocide.
But that's
Yeah,
then you could
yeah.
then you would just call the Holocaust a
Well,
genocide.
well,
It wouldn't have
that's
the
the same
Holocaust
thing.
wouldn't have a term to it then.
The Holocaust. Holocaust is a term that stands for holy burning.
Okay.
So,
But yes,
So
I
the
know.
black
It
hole
was-
burning.
I
yeah.
mean, but
the
like
Holocaust was specifically what the Germans did.
Yeah, that
It's
was
not
like, yeah.
a term. It's
I
not
know,
a
no, they're not. They're
Holocaust,
not.
it's
They're not
the
saying. They're not
Holocaust.
saying that like they did the exhibit. It's like the way that everyday people think about the Holocaust. They think it's just like they basically enslaved Jewish people and then burned them.
Yeah, but it's different. I feel like no, you shouldn't do that because what that's doing is that's gonna take away because they should both be their own equal
Okay.
things. You know what I'm saying? The Holocaust is the Holocaust, and the slave trade is the slave trade. Like I feel like if you take the title of something else and like add it, it kind of just.
Why are you raising your hand? You're not
'Cause
in the
I'm-
classroom.
no.
Like, it's,
Just because to show that I'm going to talk.
yeah.
That's like like calling every other time someone flies a plane to a building a 9/11. Like that's what you're
Yeah,
doing right
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Like another 9/11 happened today.
But-
like no, it's
Well,
not.
But when you look at,
But would you really put it past somebody not to say that?
but when you
yeah, no, people would say that because
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
fucking
So-
goofy. They're not right.
So-
They're just fucking goofy.
So think about this. On the slave ships, they put,
It's not a Holocaust because that's
No,
like the
I'm not-
act that the Germans did. It'd be
Okay,
like
I
a
understand that.
genocide.
Okay.
There's a term for that. Genocide.
Pogrom.
they're both genocides. Let's
We don't call the Rwanda.
No one's denying
We don't
that.
call what happened in Rwanda the Rwandan genocide.
No,
It's called the Rwandan the Rwandan Holocaust. We call it the Rwandan genocide.
can I just give you all the reason that these people are arguing about this?
okay.
I understand y'all have your views, but can you like let me put the other side out there for a minute?
You can
No.
you can suck my wee wee.
Okay, so their argument is that these people were put on these ships forcibly, but you could say the Jews were gathered up forcibly.
On trains.
Yes. And then they were carted off across the Atlantic Ocean, which is like a 3-month trip. And on these ships, they were chained. The men were chained together underground under the ship, living in their own feces, their own vomit, their own urine,
And they died.
and they died. A lot of them died, and the corpses would just sit there. And then you had on the top deck all the women locked in cages. Some of them were allowed to roam the ship, but every one of them would get raped every day.
Oh my.
And some women, from trying to avoid being raped, would take pieces of wood from the ship and put it inside of them because they thought that would stop them from doing it. Two things would happen. It'd end up getting infected and they'd die anyway, or the men would rape them anyway and just shove it farther down in there. And then a lot of women would just jump overboard and kill themselves into shark-infested waters. So it's not the idea that it's exactly, they're calling it, they just call it a Holocaust because it's the closest thing that people consider a genocide. When they think of genocide, everyone thinks of the Holocaust. But it's the idea that these people endured things that are pretty much almost comparable to what the Jews experienced.
Okay, so let me explain what you're doing. Is why I don't agree with it in any way. You're just co-opting what happened to someone else to try to help other people understand. It's like when gay people and trans people say this is the new civil rights. Like, no, not really. It's just you fighting for your own rights. That's fine. That's admirable. Don't take something else that happened to someone else and try to make it about you in a sense.
Yeah, no.
I can feel that. But
And I feel like it just takes it away.
Yeah.
It's like calling it the Black Holocaust, so you just imagine like somebody gathered them all and put them in like a
Yeah,
gas
like,
chamber. It's
it's-
like no, there was more to it. Like so you have your own story.
yeah,
It's literally the exact same thing like I said. It's like if every time there was a terrorist attack with a plane, they'd call it the new 9/11. Like,
Which
No.
people definitely would do.
I mean, yeah.
It's 9/11 too.
So like your guys' big problem is that they're just calling it a Black Holocaust when it's not.
yeah,
like,
just don't call it a
I mean,
Holocaust.
that's fair.
Call it a
Like
genocide.
the way
Call
I
it a
look at it
tragedy.
kind of the same way you guys do, where it's like, yeah, these people endured the same, like they endured just as bad things, but it's like on a whole different level. Because to me, it's like the technological advances were so completely different. The culture and the world was completely different at that time. But I feel like it's just one of those things that people don't know a lot about the Atlantic slave trade.
Also, you can't really call it the Black Holocaust when the original Holocaust included black people too.
That's true.
So
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you the arguments that these historians have with each
Well,
other.
I'm saying whoever those historians are must not really be paying attention. It's like it's the Black Holocaust. Well, black people were in the Holocaust as well.
Do you like how they don't really touch on that like portion of it in,
Well,
in cinema and stuff like that?
I get
'cause-
why, because it's like, yeah, there was all black people killed, but like the amount of Jewish people that were killed, I guess, is like it's unreal. So I see why they focus on that. He killed gypsies too. Go Hitler.
That's the other thing that they brought up was that
What?
What's with you and gypsies?
He's never liked
I don't
gypsies.
like gypsies. I don't like gypsies.
He's never liked them. You've known.
At
this
least
for
my
years.
prejudice makes sense. Like I just don't.
I don't
like
like gypsies because they're thieving motherfuckers.
Oh,
I don't like
God.
Aryan motherfuckers because they dump chemicals in ponds and shit.
Who Aryan mother? Like
Aryan, like blonde hair, blue eyes looking motherfuckers. You didn't know this?
He doesn't trust them at all.
Yeah. This was a conversation from last week.
Phil. You're.
Hi.
It's not blonde.
I mean,
He's pretty damn close.
No, we're talking like what Hitler idealized as the perfect man. I'm looking at him like you're
he's talking
fucking
people,
up to something.
He's talking people like Dolph Ziggler and yeah.
Yes.
But the other point that they brought up was that the numbers, the ratio of numbers between the total population is. I don't remember what they were, but they said they were like relatively close to the ratio of population to the members of the Holocaust and like Jewish people.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, it's dumb. I think it's dumb to compare the two like that, but I found it interesting that because like in school, no one talks about like the actual mid Atlantic slave trade,
because
the Middle
Passage.
Passage.
If they
just
told
don't.
you too much, you'd know too much, and then you'd start to question shit.
Exactly.
Because then you'd start to dig into
But-
it, and then you'd start to find out about systemic racism, and then people might get a little bit smart and
Yep.
get upset about the shit.
But
Knowledge
then,
is power. That's why
but
they don't
then
give you enough.
you spend what, a month learning about the Holocaust?
Yeah.
Like, not granted, the Holocaust is a terrible thing, but it's like, I mean, that's just they're two of the worst things that happened in human
Keeping people
like history, and it's
the less you know, the more they can control you.
yeah.
More or less. So
But yeah, there was like if the Middle Passage didn't happen like it would, like the slaves would revolt on ships, and it caused ships to spend more money to keep them under wraps and things like that. They saved, like the Africans that revolted and died on those ships, saved over like 1 million of other Africans' lives because of it.
Did you know that Haiti was the first
Yep.
black colony?
They kind of got fucked over in the long run, but
Yeah, they didn't really have a sustainable government
Nope.
after that.
but it's the same thing that happened to Africa. Like after all their great leaders died, it's like, well, the Europeans just kind of run stuff now, but they don't ever do anything to keep it up. So they're just a bunch of poor people running around the country.
So I have a question for you guys, right?
Yeah.
So in entertainment, right? So we all watch movies. We all listen to
I
music.
mean, I don't watch a lot of movies, but yeah, I got you.
We all watch TV of some sort. We
Yes.
all are entertained by something, whether you read
Yes.
books, you watch whatever the what, right? Do you separate the art that you're consuming from the creator?
Bro, that's a conversation I've had with so many people, and it's so interesting.
I'm getting to something, right? Okay, so do you get what I'm saying? Like, okay,
Yeah,
so
I
it's like,
understand what
do
you're
you
saying.
separate the creator from what you're actually his product? Do you separate him from his product?
Mhm.
So recently, there's a certain musical artist who's on trial right now. He was in jail for this or whatever the what, and he's now fighting the case. XXX Tentacion is on trial for kidnapping, false imprisoning, and beating the shit out of his pregnant girlfriend. Now ex, obviously.
Yes.
So, if he's found guilty,
Mm-hmm.
would you still... Okay, so saying like Chris Brown, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a prime example.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Did you listen to Chris Brown prior to his ass beaten?
Yeah. I mean, I looking back on his music sucked, but yeah.
But I'm saying...
As a kid, yeah, I did.
What do you, do you separate that?
Yeah, I can. Because I still listen to R. Kelly, and he peed on teenagers.
My whole thing is just like, I don't know, because that's how I feel too. I feel like, I should just keep...
I don't know what that was.
There's a ghosty in the room.
It's probably
So
Steven.
do any of you listen to Tentacion?
No.
No, I don't
No.
listen to him.
You never heard the Can't Keep My Dick in My Pants?
No.
Oh, that I've heard.
Yeah, okay. So that's the guy. That's Tentacion.
Can't give you a man.
But yeah, like it's like with Ray Lewis. He literally killed somebody,
Hold on.
and then he's still in the NFL, won a
For
Super Bowl.
instance, your guy, Bill Maher or whatever.
Bill Maher, yeah.
Yeah. Do you separate his racial tendencies from his comedy?
No, because when he used that word, he wasn't on stage. He was being a comedian, but he wasn't on
Right,
stage.
but
It
I'm
wasn't
saying,
part
can
of
you
his
still watch him the same now that you know how he acts outside of his
act. I'm watching him
entertainment?
more. Like I'm literally watching like, is he about to fuck up again?
Right, but yeah, do you look at him the same? Are you able to separate his comedy from how he is as a person?
Yeah.
Outside of that, are you like?
Yeah.
So like.
I'm a very big person of your art is your art. It's not exactly like.
Right.
Yeah. Like.
So you can still support him.
Yeah.
That's kind of like
Louis
what I'm getting
C.K.
at. Are
is
you
gone.
still able to support the person that's like, probably fucked up?
Yeah. Here's the thing. His art's also a bit fucked up because. Do you remember that there's a big hubbub because he showed the lynching of a white kid in one of his music videos?
Who?
Temptation.
Tentacion? Yeah. He
He lynched a white kid in this video.
Yeah.
That's good. Nah, that's terrible.
Well, okay, so
He did it for reasons. I'm not gonna say they're good. I'm not gonna say they're bad.
it was supposed to be imagery because in the video, in that scene, there's a black kid and a white kid.
Yeah.
He's talking to the black kid, and then he wraps the noose around the white kid.
That's so fucked up.
And is basically what he's getting at is that you're taught racism.
Oh, that's genius, actually. What do you think?
It's
It's
like-
a little fucked up way to go about it,
because
but that's
he's
genius.
showing the black kid like, look, you're gonna do this. So obviously the black kid now is gonna think, but he was using a white kid, so now everyone's like, oh my god.
When it's the same thing they did to us, but
Right.
it's whatever.
And
That's
so
fine.
his whole thing was he's trying to teach racism. Granted, he could have did it a different way.
He totally could have done it a different way.
He could have gone
He
about
could've-
it a little bit
He
different.
could have just put a sign up like
Also-
white only, like
Yeah.
Quick thing. Shit. What was the song about?
Okay, this is where he also fucked up
Yeah.
because it was supposed to be the music video for "Look at Me," which is the "Can't Get My Dick in My Pants" song, right?
What does that have to do with
Let's
racism?
hang a little white kid with my dick in my pants.
Well, okay, so and that's where he fucked up. In the beginning of the video, that's how the video starts. Like the first 30 seconds is that song, and then it switches to a different song, and then that song is more conscious.
Okay.
So he's talking about different problems, and then but mind you, they never go back to the "Look at Me" song, even though the video is for "Look at Me."
Yeah. They just
So he really fucked up there because I get why he did that because that's his biggest song.
yeah.
So if he releases a music video for that, everyone's gonna see what he put out there. But
It's
no,
so
you don't
weird.
go to an ignorant ass song expecting, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so your message isn't gonna be able to like. If you're looking for conscious shit, you're in the mindset of okay, I'm about to get learned something.
That's why you listen to Common.
If
and
you're gonna go watch some
Logic and-
ignorant shit, you just wanna, so your brain's turned off. You know,
Yep.
you don't wanna. I don't wanna learn today. I just wanna headbang and fuck bitches. Like,
then you're allowed to
Do
make
some
that
hood
choice.
rat shit.
yeah, do some hood rat shit.
But yeah, I think a lot of people can't do that though. They can't separate the artist from their art, which is unfortunate.
It depends what they're peddling.
That's too like. Well, for me, it
Yeah.
depends on what they do. Because sometimes I can, sometimes I can't.
No, I'm thinking about their message. Like, depends who they piss off, because then they can't do that.
Well, see, here's where it gets fucked up, right? So Tentacion, when he first got arrested for all this shit, right? There was a couple of my buddies who were like, "Man, fuck anybody who listens to him. He beats a woman." And I'm like, "Well, hold on now. He's on trial, so that means we don't actually know."
You know that doesn't work in this world. Stop.
No, I look. I firmly believe unless somebody can give you some fucking proof that yes, in fact, he beat her ass,
I agree with you, but that's not how the world works.
I'm not gonna look at it like that because
America does not work that way.
you know,
Explain
anyone can
his.
say anything. She could just be upset because he got money now. Now, granted, there are pictures of her face afterwards. She got
That's-
fucked up, by the way. She got fucked up. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of disturbing. I'll pull up a picture for you. But who's to say that his story's true,
Yep.
right? He's saying that she got jumped by somebody else, and he had like somehow he knows them or something like that, right?
That's it's a little sketchy.
Right, but it's
That's also typical, like, things they do occasionally in the rap community. Like, they'll have a friend of theirs be like, I need this to happen. You might have to take
Bro,
the fall
that's
for this.
that's
so you're
low
not gonna
key.
do it.
That's low key true.
That's, yeah.
and see my whole
One
thing.
of JayZ's guys is like that.
If this does come out to be true, because they released her statement, her court statement,
Yep.
and it's
Dark shit.
dark.
Yeah.
At one point in time, supposedly, he walks into the bedroom when they were living together holding up two barbecue tools. One was the fork and one was the brush, the one that you clean it. And he said, oh yeah, it's going where you think it's going. And he told her, he's like, choose which one and you're going to get it inside you. She was in a trap situation, so she picked the fork. And so he told her to undress, and then he started stroking her leg with the fork, and then she passed out, and she claims that he didn't actually do it.
What?
And then there's
How'd she pass out?
Because she was
Probably she's about
scared.
to get
Yeah,
stabbed
your
with a
body
fork.
is going into shock in that moment. You're psychologically just not.
Able to handle that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the people who listening can't see, but this is what she looked like
Oh my God.
afterwards. If anyone wants to see it, look up Geneva. Like type in XXXTentacion and then Geneva,
Oh,
and it'll come right up.
She got her eyes like gone.
Yeah,
oh
dude,
my
he
God.
Supposedly,
She had one of her blood
supposedly
vessels burst.
she's partially blind in that eye now.
Makes sense, yeah.
There's so many, and the part that fucked me up is, I was defending him like, yeah, we don't know what's true. She grew. It's like a 10-page.
Oh, that's true. There's no way.
It's like a
There's no
10-page
way.
confession explaining in really deep detail as to what he did, when he did it,
He definitely did
why
it.
he did it.
I hate to tell you this, but he did it.
So
I hate to tell you this, but
also what he's got going against him is he has a tendency. He's a violent person already. Like you can look up on his Tumblr right now, and he has videos of him beating motherfuckers' asses.
Yep.
Just for in the beginning of one of his songs, it's a sample from a video of him beating someone's ass. The album cover for one of his songs is him choking out a dude that's all bloody faced.
Yeah, he did it. I hate to tell you this, man, but he did it.
So now I'm torn because I want to disassociate that, but it's like if he beat a girl's ass, I don't know if I want to listen to him.
But that's not fair because do the people who do that, they probably still listen to Chris Brown. Like, let's be real, his music is all over the radio and stuff.
True.
They probably still like R. Kelly. Again, peed on 14-year-olds. That's just, it's just something that's real. It's like, yeah, see, that's like insane.
This was one of his album covers.
That's
He's
insane.
choking out some dude that he just
With a cigar in his mouth? Is that a cigar in his mouth?
nuts his tongue.
He's got a black
Weird
tongue.
motherfucker.
Oh my God. But yeah, it's just one of the things that if you I don't think you should condemn someone else because of their choosing to still enjoy the art because of you can't like cope
And that's
with.
another valid point. People always say like instead of condemning somebody, you should want them to get better.
Yeah, and don't like force it upon them. Like
Which I'm
it's
cool with, but it's like at the same time, man, I don't know. Like she was pregnant.
Let me ask you something. Would you still watch the Cosby Show if it was on TV?
I never watched the Cosby
You
Show.
never did?
I didn't like that shit.
You didn't?
No.
All right,
It's
that's fair.
too. It's
I'll say this. I actually, a couple weeks ago, I went back and watched Bill Cosby as himself, that special.
Mm-hmm.
That still felt like fucking hilarious. Granted, in the back of my head, it's like, yeah, he probably raped someone before and after this. And somehow during.
No, but that's real. Like, could you still go to a Cosby Show? I mean, I could. Like if not, like he's obviously not doing it now.
because I really love
but-
Michael Jackson.
Exactly, it's the same thing. Like
Got a light-skinned friend, look like
And-
Michael Jackson. Got a
people still love
dark
Kobe. He had rape allegations. Like
I love Kobe.
exactly. So it's like
Yeah,
you
but
can't.
Kobe wasn't found guilty.
That's true.
Allegations are allegations.
But, I mean,
I'm
he
saying
was-
if
he was-
Tentacion is found guilty of kidnapping, holding her a prisoner, and beating her while she was pregnant, she's not pregnant anymore.
Actually, no, people can
know
separate the
where-
person from the art because no one hates Bill Murray. Bill Murray used to slap around his wife. Yeah.
That was different. I mean, how old was he when this was going on? What year was this?
This was like a while, like early in his career.
Oh, I did.
Dude used to slap around his wife, apparently.
Man, it's just like it could happen every day,
Hold
and
up.
you just
Who was
won't know
Madonna
about
married
it.
to? Who was Madonna married to?
Did you say Radonna at first?
Madonna.
I'm pretty
Married to?
I
Yeah,
don't think
she was married to
she's-
someone back in the day.
She dated Tupac.
I don't know about that. But apparently the dude she was married to for a while held her hostage, tied her to a chair, threatened her with a knife and shit like that. And he's also like a pretty big... I think it was Sean Penn, actually.
Didn't Dennis Rodman date Madonna?
I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah,
I think he
Wouldn't
did.
surprise. Oh, I think he did.
I think he did. She chose some weird men in her life. Like she goes from Tupac to Dennis Rodman. That's kind
Well,
of
Tupac dumped her.
she's probably
She was
is.
white.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me.
You know that?
Because she was white?
Yeah, I didn't know why they ever broke up.
Okay, so there was like a scandal probably like a few months ago about Tupac scandal. Motherfucker's dead.
I
People
know,
just
like-
can't let people live like
Or
die.
be died.
There you go.
Anyway, yeah. So a note came out, a note that Tupac had written to Madonna explaining why he couldn't be with her anymore. Summarized to somebody who's not reading it to read it, it's basic. Because you're white, but it's deeper than that. It was a lot of shit. I didn't read the whole entire note, but I do know that.
That's probably just the cultural difference was like bugging
Well, I
him
mean,
out.
He's a Black Panther.
I mean that too, but it's like at that point, if it's just because you're white, you shouldn't have dated her to begin with. He probably started dating. He realized that their cultures were just too different.
Right.
Yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Nothing at all.
Yeah, wouldn't that have mattered to Tupac? I'm not gonna sit here like I know Tupac. Would that have mattered? Something like race? Would that matter to Tupac?
As a Black Panther, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at that point in his career, he was starting to understand like who he was as like a speaker for black people. So it's like, oh, this man is speaking to the black man, but he's married to the white devil.
Which is dumb, but it's stupid.
That's dumb.
Dude, if we can let gay people love who they love, well, just let races love who they love, dog.
Miss Missy said. Shout out Miss Missy, high school English teacher. Get at me.
No.
21 now.
Stop,
That's good.
dude. Oh my god.
Oh, because she's gonna listen to our podcast.
What's up?
Well, what did Miss C say?
No, all jokes aside though. The browning of the world. That's what she called it. She's like,
I can dig
more
it.
interracial couples, more brown babies, less hateful people.
That's so true, though.
I don't
Well,
think
you'd hope so,
I
right?
think people are shitheads. They're gonna hate whoever. They
Oh,
can hate.
yeah. But I mean, like, I think the racial hate will kind of not go away, but it'll die down a bit.
It's gonna turn into I'm darker than you are, so I hate you.
That's
Well, that's actually how it works.
it's-
That's how it
yeah.
works in South Africa.
Yeah.
The mixed people are separated from the black people
Yep.
and the white people.
Yep.
And both black people and white people don't like the mixed people.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up.
I mean, it's always like in America, it's not as bad, but it's like, oh, he's one of them dark skin Negroes, and you're like, oh, you're a light skin, huh? You're like Drake, and it's just like there's like these stereotypes that come with being light skin and dark skin that are
Yeah.
dumb, but
Oh, you a red bone, huh?
yeah, like it's and you,
Who was that Viner? His name was like Darius something, like Darius Benson.
oh, I never was really into Vine.
Bro, it was the funniest thing. Like, it was showing the two sides of himself. Like, one was all like emotional and shit, and like another side threw a shoe at him and went, "Stop being so light skinned."
Stop being so light skinned.
But it's like it's funny because like I don't remember, like there are certain time periods within the 90s where it's like, or like during just their history where it's like they always say women were into dark skinned Negroes back then, now they're into all the light skinned dudes. It's really weird why they like how they just separate it. It's like, no, just let them be people, man. It's just
She's fucking a black guy. That's
like that's all it is,
You're
man.
angry about that
like
because he's dark-skinned.
exactly. It just yeah, I hate we've talked about it before about the idea that like races can't like cross like date and pollinate.
It'd actually be better for our country if there were more interracial couples. Because
Bro, for real.
browning of the
That's
world.
that's
To an
why
extent,
that's why I
to an
can't
extent, to an
stand
extent.
Dr. Umar Johnson, dude.
who?
Oh, he's this dude who believes that black people who date white women or either way that they hate themselves and that they hate the black race, and it's like
yeah, he's one of those.
it's like, dude, oh my god. He's like, he believes every white person is the white devil, and he believes all white people hate black people, and I'm just like, dude, come on. Like, stop playing into this victim
I
shit.
hate you,
Yeah.
but not because you're black.
That's
Because you're full of shit.
But he's playing into that whole victim bullshit, and I was like,
Yeah.
stop being a victim.
It gets
Just
to
do
it gets-
something,
yeah,
man.
it gets to a point where it's like, why are you trying to end the hatred with more hatred? It's
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't work.
Like, Cody, you need to like watch the Breakfast Club interviews he's done, because he says some off the wall shit, dude.
What's his name again?
Dr. Umar Johnson.
Umar Johnson.
I'm not listening to a man whose name is Umar. I'm sorry. I'm just not. Get a real name.
That was hella racist. Like,
I don't care.
I'll be right back.
all right. Like, you can't just like. Umar is a normal. That's Umar is a normal name. Like, it's an Arabic. I think it's Arabic.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But still, some names are just weird. Like, I don't care who you are. George Rogopoulos is not a normal name.
It's like I was
Thank you
reading.
for admitting that.
I was reading it.
I've never.
Let him talk.
I was reading
Yeah,
an
someone said
article. I was reading an article. It definitely wasn't real, but it was talking about how we need to give more countries in Africa. Or no, it wasn't Africa. It was some country
Antarctica.
that doesn't speak English.
Okay.
They speak another language.
That's a lot.
But like most of their words have no vowels. So it was talking about how we need to airlift and drop like care packages of like 400,000 letter E's so that they can make real words.
Send them a bunch of SpaghettiOs. Alphabet soup, cocksucker.
But it was like this whole like 3-page article on like how
That's
we need
crazy.
to like supply these countries with more vowels so they can actually spell.
That is so funny. I didn't know that there was language that didn't have vowels in it. Well, I guess a vowel is like an arbitrary thing, but have you ever thought about how arbitrary language really is?
Yeah.
It's
Like,
us making noises
it's
that somehow we learned to
crazy.
create.
Yeah.
Like one of Hannah's residents on their door to their room, like their dorm room, it says, "Have you ever thought about that your name is just a sound someone uses to get your attention?" Like I've never actually sat and thought about my name really isn't like this. I'm about to be like Jim Carrey. My name's really not like a name. It's just a sound.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
With letters.
With letters. So, speaking of languages, I was sitting in my Greek history class the other day, and we were talking about the Linear B language and the tablets and stuff from ancient Greece.
Okay.
They haven't translated all of it, but they translated some of it. So I'm like, how do you know if you translated it correctly? You know what I mean? Like
Other sources, like you know,
but there's not. But like I'm saying, like it has to start somewhere. Someone has to know Linear B in order to translate it. And like if we don't know all of Linear B, how can you get a full translation out of something? Like how do you know what you've already translated is
Guessing.
accurate? Yeah, it's just guessing. Like
Yeah.
it's
find things
just
with
dumb.
context. You find other languages that you do know. Not to mention, some of these things could have been translated back in the day when people still knew them, or they could have been
That's true.
translated into a language we might still kind of have around.
That's true.
Like, say something in Greek was translated to Latin, and we can, what's it called? Just piece together Latin from all the other languages. It was
But then you run across the issue where like it's telephone. Like, oh, something back in the day, like in the beginning, was translated from Greek to Latin, but the Greek version was lost. Then they translate it back into Greek. You end up with like something completely different than the original product.
to an extent.
Yeah, to an extent. Like it's gonna take. It's not just gonna like happen. It's gonna be a long period of time where that happens. So.
And my other thing is like because like obviously not a lot of like only scholars were literate, and that was only like the wealthy people really. So, and it's like, did they have enough money to be literate in two languages?
It was often required, actually, especially in not in ancient Greece because they were xenophobic as fuck.
Yeah,
still
they
are.
were, bro. That blew my mind. I was like, they literally hate anyone that's not Greek.
Yeah, no. First of all, twice now in Greek history have we created a word just for people who aren't. First it was barbarians because everything they
How
said.
do you say it in Greek? Is it
Barbaros.
barbaros?
I don't know.
I think something like that.
But
It's something.
because all their languages.
It's barbar something. I
Yeah,
just don't
no.
know what
I think it was Barbara Ikati.
it's something barbar. Like it's barbar.
Quick thing. That's another great example of my what's it called?
Your
Thing just-
illiterateness. Your illiterate.
No, it's me switching between
Languages,
having the
yeah.
difficulty between switching languages. Because I just said one word in Greek. I finished the sentence in Greek.
I know. It's
I
fine.
tried to say Barbara or something. I said Barbara Ikati.
I just assumed you said one word. I don't
No.
speak Greek, so I just assumed you said one whole word.
Shit, what was I going to say? But yeah, now in Greek culture, we have just the word xeni or xenos. It's just literally others, outsiders, non-Greeks.
What? I don't know why. Like, you know, the Romance language is Italian,
Romantic.
Spanish. The Romance language.
Romantic languages.
That means the exact same thing as I just said.
Yeah, but never mind. Just go.
Okay. Like, I find Greek, like it's a very beautiful language.
Yeah.
To me, like, it sounds beautiful as fuck. And I
Thank
feel like people just, like, they don't really, like, I don't think anyone really thinks about how the Greek language actually, like,
Sounds.
yeah.
Well, even a lot of languages are just, when they're spoken naturally, how they're supposed to, they are pleasant sounding. Because you wouldn't
I don't
speak
know.
a
German, I don't
No, because
know what they be doing, but, bro,
In
that, like, that's
Most
just,
of the time in German, it's like, oh, it's fringen, it's good, gluten, it's
and
normal.
they're just like,
It's
"Wah!"
normal.
It's like, where did that come from?
Grant, you get me screaming in Greek. It doesn't sound pretty, does it? Yeah, that doesn't sound so pretty, does it?
No, not really. But still, I think Germans, they just have like that.
They're just doing that.
That's
We're just
not- that's
torturing
not-
our poor audience.
That's not kind of bad, isn't it?
If
But-
they made it this far.
Yeah. They probably got tired of us at a certain point. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I think that I think that all languages probably are very
Yeah,
beautiful.
even Arabic. Like everyone always.
Arabic, written Arabic looks amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It looks great.
It really is.
Like
beautiful.
that's like if I could read Arabic, I'd write. If I could read and write Arabic, that's how I'd write everything because it just looks amazing. It just looks so fancy.
Now Russian is an ugly written language.
Is it?
It's just so
It's
fucked
symbols.
up. No, exactly, because it's old. It's the Greek alphabet thrown in with other letters because they had too many sounds in their languages. We couldn't keep up. We're like, just take them. Just fucking make your own. Goddammit, make your own.
That's funny.
It's ridiculous.
Man, languages. Interesting fact of life.
Yeah.
Oh,
Power too.
bro, I'm still like we should have gone to bed so much earlier.
Maybe.
We turned up. Well, we didn't really turn up, but
No, we're just having a fucking shitload of fun.
yeah, we've spent over the past 12 hours, 24 hours together almost.
Oh yeah.
Almost. Like that's crazy. We don't really ever do that.
Anyway, shit. Language is power. Actually, I was talking about this last night, but I'm saying it on the podcast.
It's fun. You good?
Even the ancient Mesopotamians knew the what's it called? The importance of speech.
Yeah.
Because their chief deity, his two key defining factors was he had a ring of eyes around his head, and he could speak magic words.
To me, that still is mind-boggling.
Yeah, like Zeus was an eagle who threw thunder. Like,
I mean, you know
how these people are.
Yeah, but like the fact that I could just put like a bunch of googly eyes around my head and just go whoop bloop 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 bloop, and then just like that's literally I'm a chief deity. Like that's all it really was. Like let's be honest, because magic words are just words they don't understand.
Also, it's a great demonstration of Jungian archetypes.
Of what?
Jungian archetypes. So, Jung noticed that throughout stories and in our psychology, there were archetypes, like a trickster, a serpent, a hero. Marduk, this god we're talking about, he showed the what's it called? The traits of an archetypical hero. He spoke magic words. He went off to fight the serpent of chaos, Tiamat.
Yeah.
You know? And you can see these things constantly pop up through our storytelling. It's very cool.
I think like storytelling is an art form that's been lost. Like no one really tells stories anymore. Think about it, because like when was the last time you actually like remembered an entire like really good story that you could tell, like a narrative just off the top of your head?
None.
Exactly. Like it's like a bard. There's just no one does it anymore.
Yeah, because the media has changed.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
You know, they used to not have writing, so they have to memorize it.
Yeah.
That's actually Socrates was against writing because he would fear people wouldn't remember things.
I mean, Homer and his entire work was all off of memory.
George, you need to buy a lute and learn to play it, and then just stand on the street corner playing the lute and telling stories.
No, because
I'll buy a bouzouki.
But like I would
lute.
literally, if someone could tell me a story that, I'm not saying like don't read me the freaking Iliad or the Odyssey, but like a story of that kind of concept where it's just like something that may have happened, may not have happened, we don't really know, but it's still just interesting, and all these things happened, and it's all like based out of myth, and it's actually interesting. If someone can sit there and recite that to me, I'd pay money to see that. No lie.
Well, you know how they believe most myths were formed. Even Gilgamesh. They believe that Gilgamesh was a real person. People blew his shit out of proportion.
Yeah.
And then, because there are historical records of a king named Gilgamesh in Ur.
Yeah.
Like Iraq area.
Yeah. But I mean, like, we don't really have, like, Americans, modern day society, we don't have myths. Like,
Johnny Appleseed.
No, that's not a...
Bigfoot.
That's not a... Like, I'm talking about, like...
Chupacabra.
Those aren't real myths.
Yeah.
Those are, I'm talking about... I mean myths that are, like... That just tell why things are the way they are. Or explain divine like things that science can't explain. You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean like, why do the stars look like a bear from this angle?
Yeah.
Because you were on acid.
Yes.
Like...
Because
I mean, I guess
you
the fact that
you flipped over the cow patty and there were mushrooms, and you were like, I like mushrooms, and you ate the mushrooms, and now you're in the third dimension.
Yeah, I guess it's the fact that science is so advanced, it probably won't ever
Yeah.
happen, which kind of sucks. But
That's what they were trying to figure out. They were trying to, what's it called? They were trying to make sense of something they didn't know about.
yeah,
So they're like, fuck it, gods pulled the bear in the sky by his tail. Tail got long. That's a bear with a long tail.
Fuck it, the Earth's flat. Like you reach the edge of the ocean, you just fall. You just fall.
now that
Right
could be a great myth.
Like
Think about it. You just fall. Where do you fall to? Think of somewhere. There's
nothing.
some
You're just
mythical.
Its
gone.
mouth.
You just disappear.
But there's got to be like some reasoning and story, but nothing. You guys
No.
have nothing. You're not very creative people, are you?
No, not really.
They didn't know what was there. They just knew you went to the edge of the Earth. You disappeared. You were gone.
You just went over the horizon. That's all it is.
No, the Earth is flat.
No,
Brandon.
it's
There's-
not.
It just dead ends.
Stop.
Totally flat. Absolutely flat.
God, it's not flat.
Why isn't all the water falling off then, Brandon?
George,
Bro, when you brought that lemon out last night, I was so mad at you. I was ready to punch you in your throat for that.
George, if the Earth was flat, the cats would have knocked everything off of it by now.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
Brandon.
I hate-
And not to mention, vaccines give you autism.
Don't do this right now. Please don't do this.
Didn't know that, Brandon?
Please don't
that
do
they
this.
give you autism?
But we're not having.
According to the one page I found on Google, 30 pages in.
I'm going to say it. If you don't vaccinate your kids, you're an idiot.
Absolutely. People, this is a bit. I believe that the Earth is round and that vaccines are good.
Yeah. If you don't vaccinate your kids, you're a goddamn idiot. Yeah. I'm just going to say it. Like, screw you.
See, I agree with vaccinating your kid against known issues that were extremely prevalent, but some of the new stuff they've come out
Yeah.
with,
yeah.
take this one so your male son doesn't get cervical cancer. What?
Yeah, I understand that, but it's what are the big ones? Meningococcus, is that one?
That sounds like a Greek name.
Meningitis?
No, there's one that the vaccination is called meningococcus or something. It's something. It's some.
Yeah,
It's something yeah, it's something stupid. And then you have your polio and all that dumb stuff. But those, get those. Even though polio is basically dead, that's fine.
But I think it's stupid that schools require that you have your kids get shots. I understand chickenpox. I understand measles, polio,
all the stuff that's
all the
actually,
big major shit
yeah.
that could actually cause an issue. But
And
there's a lot of them.
meningococcus, don't forget that one.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them that they give they require that you get that
yeah, it's just
it's never really been an issue.
yeah.
They're making you get these shots.
I don't think that they should make you do anything that you like. Obviously, if you don't believe in getting vaccinations, you're still an idiot. But that's your choice. You can be an idiot. It's whatever.
I think I managed to get through most of my high school career without getting this one shot.
Phil's
Would they
cheating
have
the
actually done that?
system.
Because they actually took me out of school because my vaccines weren't up to date.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I think it just managed to slip past them.
Oh.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
saw the foreign kid who speaks
at-
Greek, and they're
At one point, yeah, you brought some shit from the village. You were playing with them goats. Anyway. No, but they, called me out of the nurse's office. So we don't have your vaccines. Have you gotten them yet? And I'm like, no. And they're like, why? Because my parents are pieces of shit. They don't do things for me. And it's like, all right, well, we're going to have to send you home.
That's the other thing that I hate, is that they expect your home life to be the way theirs is.
Yeah.
They expect your parents to be the stereotypical great parents.
I forget exactly what class, but I needed forms signed for it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get them for months. And they're like, why not? Because I don't see my parents. It's like, why not? Why are you asking me these things?
Yeah, it's first of all, it's none of your business. Second of all, I'm sorry I didn't grow up like you. And third, go fuck yourself.
Well,
You don't live my life.
That's one of the biggest issues I had with our high school is they all assumed everybody who went to that school was rich.
Yep.
So all they did was push college.
Yep.
You have to go to college. College is the only way you're ever going to make any money. And look at me now.
Don't do this.
No, I'm just saying
Make me feel less of like a man.
I'm beating the system. George is beating the system.
George beat the statistics of high school, man.
I beat the odds. I beat the facts.
Slept through and missed
I'm
his
just
entire
saying,
senior year.
there's
Still
more
graduated.
ways to go about doing it than just college.
Yeah, I
It's
feel
forced.
that. I tell my guy that works for me all the time. He's not going to college. I'm like, he came to me. He's like, Brandon, I think this is what I want to do for the foreseeable future. I want to move up as far as I can. And I was like, listen, I'll help you as much as I can. You're young, you got time, but I'm not gonna sit here. He's like, is that and he asked me, he's like, is that something that I should be worried about. I was like, this is something that I can actually do for the rest of my life. I was like,
No,
you can
that's-
do whatever you want to do, dude. Whatever,
That's fine.
whatever makes you happy, whatever you feel like you can do it.
My
College is not for everyone. College is people go to college, get caught. A lot of people get caught in a trap because they think it's going to get them everywhere, and they're just going to come out of the system 50 grand in the hole. And he's decided not to do that, and I commend him for it. So I mean, this is what he wants to do, so do it.
I think I forget which college my buddy went to. He got a degree in sports medicine.
Yeah.
First job out of college, real estate agent.
Yeah, like it's literally. So what it is like a college degree. If you can get one in the field you study, that's great. But like, it literally is just a piece of paper that shows you have the ability to stick to something and responsibility. That's literally it. That's the only thing that proves. Other than that, it's like, I mean, it shows that you know how to write essays, you know how to do basic math, and you know how to do this, that, and whatever the what. But when it comes down to it, it's like, are you responsible enough to have a job? And are you able to stick to something and not quit on it when it gets hard? That's the only thing college proves to anyone. Which, I mean, being a college student, I get it. It's but like it's a choice that I made, and I'm happy with it. But at the end of the day, it's like I understand that it doesn't mean I'm getting a guaranteed job when I graduate. Like I still have to go work and still have to grind and do everything else that everyone else has been doing, that they've been doing for the past 4 years that I haven't been able to do. You know what I mean? So college is kind of it's a fickle bitch, really.
Are we out on time?
70.
Yeah, it's
about time to wrap up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for listening to this installment of the Classical Airman Podcast. My name is Phil Seaman.
I'm George Georgopoulos.
I'm Baby Ice Cube. Frank Murphy left at some point. He's probably not going to come back.
Yeah, he's never
So-
coming back.
It's fine.
Thank you for listening. Give a like, subscribe, let us know you're listening. Like, leave some comments there so we can actually interact with you guys.
Give us feedback, for the love of God. We can't do much with compliments. We can work on things we suck at.
Yeah.
Thank
If you tell me my voice sucks, I can't do anything about you there, though. Sorry.